And you know, you mentioned chapters, you mentioned pages, but when did it change, George, from being a novel to, I think there was an idea that it would be a trilogy, to now these 7, or you know, we've got 5, we're anticipating 7, massive epic volumes?
It wasn't a novel for very long. But even by the time I sold it, it was a trilogy. We sold the first series as a trilogy. I had about, I think, 200 pages that I gave to my agent, and I think I attached a 2-page projection of what the rest of the story would be, because I don't like writing outlines. I have never liked writing outlines, so I wasn't going to do a big formal outline of the other 3 books. But it was going to be 3 books: Game of Thrones, A Dance with Dragons, The Winds of Winter. Those were your 3 original titles, and you know, somehow A Dance with Dragons kept receding into distance as I began working on Game of Thrones, and it got longer and longer. My original projection was 3 books of about 800 manuscript pages each, which was long. I mean, my preceding novels, things like Fever Dream and The Armageddon Rag, had been about 550 pages of manuscript. So an 800-page manuscript was a long book, and fantasies were traditionally longer than science fiction books or horror books. So I thought that would do it. And when I'm writing the first one, I hit 800 pages, and the no end was in sight. And I hit 900 pages, and no end was in sight. I hit 1,000 pages, and no end was in sight. And by the time I hit like 1,400 pages, and still no end was in sight, I said, maybe it's 4 books. So suddenly Clash of Kings was born, and I juggled with the structure a little. I moved some of the chapters I'd already written, and I delivered basically an 1,100-page manuscript that became Game of Thrones, and I had a 300-page head start on Clash of Kings.
You were ahead of the game.
And yeah, at a certain point, though, I realized, well, 4 books. 4 books is not going to be 4 books. It's going to be 6 books. I said 6 for a long time. I skipped right over 5. I never fooled around with 5. I started saying it would be 6 books. And Paris, my wife, who was then my girlfriend, would attend these things with me, and people would ask me how long the series is going to be, and I would say 6 books. And behind me, she would be holding up 7 fingers. She knew better than I did ahead of time. So now I'm saying 7 books, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, well, we will believe you for now.
Okay.
For now.